the value of the money in the old system is constantly going down. In Bitcoin, because there's only 21 million, really there's like 18 million coins. As people produce more, the value of everyone's money goes up. So all you have to do is hold Bitcoin and then help each other succeed. And you don't even need to have a business. It's because the business that we're all invested in is Bitcoin. Bitcoin is the world's greatest DAO. It's the greatest autonomous organization. So we're all shareholders of Bitcoin. We're developing a way for people to promote good ideas that are profitable and help those good, profitable ideas that are going to benefit the network defeat energetically bad ideas that are unprofitable and that are self-serving. And so that's ultimately the goal.
So, but yeah, like I said, I'm super excited to speaking with you guys tomorrow about AnyPay. Actually, without getting too much into it, I had a friend come to me and she goes, "Hey, I'm, head marketing lead at this company called Jador.com. It's a primarily, jewelry company that it's kind of like an open marketplace for top end jewelry designers and whatnot, like Gucci and everybody to sell their products online on the platform." And she came to me and she goes, "You know a lot about this thing called Bitcoin, right?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm pretty well versed." And she goes, "Well, my company at the last roundtable meeting was really interested in implementing Bitcoin as a form of payment for services rendered." And I was like, "Oh, that's really cool. That's really interesting." And so I immediately was all like, "Well, let me see if I can get somebody on here to talk about it, because then we can really dive deep into how a company similarly to hers could implement Bitcoin for payments." And so I'm really excited to hear what you guys might have to say about that.
Cool. So is that primarily what you wanted to discuss? AnyPay stuff and businesses taking payments, online payments and stuff? Because there's other stuff that Stephen and I do too.
Yeah, we don't want to talk about that at all. I don't want to talk about AnyPay or your online store taking Bitcoin payments.
Oh, okay. Well, what would you guys prefer to talk about?
Well, I would like to talk about things that are more Bitcoin.
More
See,
Bitcoin?
the problem is that those people don't use Bitcoin, so they're not about Bitcoin. They don't know anything about it. So what you're saying is you would want us to help them.
Well, not even just help them, but perhaps do like talk about how businesses such as theirs could implement this type of technology to better their own services, right? So how they could integrate Bitcoin into their platforms to accept Bitcoin as a form of payment. So not necessarily speaking about that directly to them, but kind of educating people on the fact that they can accept Bitcoin as a form of payment. But obviously there's a ton of like concerns that they had and whatnot about like, the price being going up and down and who would have custody of the Bitcoin and things of that nature. So, but if you want to talk about something else, I mean, maybe we could touch on that a little bit and then kind of move into other conversations primarily about Bitcoin and the power of microtransactions, why utility matters, and that sort of thing.
Yeah, I think we could touch a little bit on businesses taking Bitcoin, because we've got expertise in that area and have helped a lot of people. But it doesn't take very long to explain, and it's not very complicated. It's pretty simple, and it's not speaking to Bitcoiners, about things that the Bitcoin community, the people who listen to your podcast, would be most interested in hearing. New kinds of ideas that actually serve them, the people who get it and have gotten it for a long time, versus these people who are like, "Oh, I think, 2022 is the time I'll start to look at Bitcoin." Like, finally get on the train.
So what are your thoughts, Zeiler, about it all?
Oh, yeah, well, what we want to talk about is this system that we and some of our friends are building which is an advertising and promotion platform based on proof of work.
Are you kidding me? Because I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'll let you finish. I'll let you finish.
No, you go.
Well, it's funny that you mentioned that because I've been in the talks, been in discussions with a man named Greg Ward for a hot minute now about building out something precisely what you guys are potentially discussing or thinking about building out. I actually have a pitch deck that I sent him, but Greg is a super busy guy dealing with Smart Ledger and Ticket Mint and all of that stuff. So it's been difficult getting him on board to have the time to build this thing out for me. But essentially, what I was trying to do is something very similar. As a content creator myself, I was going through this whole thing about like, man, it really stinks. I'm doing all these giveaways and then there's no way to, have a way to verify that these are legitimate giveaways, right? There's no provably fair way to do my giveaways and then provide that information to people to show like, hey, I'm not being biased about my giveaways. And so that was the train of thought, the process that got me on this current path that I'm on, this trajectory. And so I built out, I visualized this concept where people could, similar to what Tonic Pal does, and kind of like taking what Tonic Pal does and Genuine Retweets and then forming them together, but through the mechanism of giveaways. And there's a few things in there as well. One of the things that the space really doesn't have is interoperability. And so I wanted to implement like a bridge, so to speak, so that if I have an NFT on rare candy and I want to give it away through, an app built into Handcash, well, Handcash doesn't really have a way to hold that NFT so that I could give it away. And then, so what I thought of was this QR code NFT generator where you could put NFTs, wrap them so that they could be held on Handcash, do the giveaway, and then people could take that NFT and redeem it on its home platform, so to speak. So there's a lot of different things there, but if you guys are interested, I could send you the pitch deck and you could look at it and laugh and be like, oh.
Have you ever thought about just not using Handcash anymore?
Well, Handcash is a good system in the eco space, but we need a lot more. We need more wallets. We need more interoperability. We need more platforms. We really need more developers, honestly. We need a lot of...
That's totally correct. Yeah. Look, can we talk about all of these great Bitcoin things and our pursuit in applying proof of work to solve the Bitcoin developer problem? And can we not talk about any pay at all?
Not talk about it at all. Yeah.
I want to talk about what it is without mentioning the name. And I want to talk about the proof of work service.
Proof of work service.
It's way more interesting.
Okay.
Because in fact, I'm not interested in helping people who don't have Bitcoin already. So your friend who has an online store, or they have a jewelry platform, they don't have Bitcoin, and so they can't help me. And maybe we can just talk about this. It'll be interesting content. I think we should just have our conversation tomorrow. But there's some important reasons why I think that there's a problem with developers, there being a lack of developers in Bitcoin. And one of the primary reasons is trying to help people like your friend who has a jewelry business.
I think we need more developers. We could definitely use some more VC funding and that.
No, we can't. No. That's totally wrong. So that's the exact opposite. That's the exact reason why we don't have more developers in Bitcoin. It's because we don't want funding. Funding is anathema. It is completely the opposite of what we need. What we need is sales. Okay, so we need to be selling each other products that we pay each other for.
Okay.
It needs to be that, imagine that the only people in the entire world, in the entire economy, are people who have Relay X. Okay, how do we benefit each other and sell each other products using Bitcoin that are going to help each other's lives? Because we all have our own unique talents. So we need to get together and serve each other. And you have to imagine that the people on the outside don't exist at all, because they don't. They're not part of the economy. So, and we don't need VC funding because VCs don't use Satoshis either. They're not part of the economy. They're on the outside. They don't exist. So the only way to make it more attractive is for us to help each other. So I noticed that neither of us are selling each other a product now. Actually, I think that our agreement was that you would be you're selling me an NFT of this audio.
Yeah.
In exchange for coming to participate on the show.
Yes.
So I like that. And I like people selling things to each other for Satoshis. Your business, Jador. They don't want, see, the problem is they don't want Satoshis, so I don't care. Because they, not only do they not have Bitcoin, but they don't want it. And what they want is more customers paying them to their bank account. And so that actually is worthless completely. And as a payment, and we can just talk about, any pay, we're constantly, like, we don't help people sell for fiat. We don't do convert to fiat. We don't need to do anything like that. And we don't really want to be working with anyone like that. And so what we want to do is help people earn and spend Bitcoin and stay in the Bitcoin economy.
Write a note down real quick, because gonna have to change up. I'd rather tomorrow it just kind of be off the cuff like this, because I feel like open discussions like this produce better results versus like trying to sit down and have a list of questions and be like, oh, let's go through the list type of deal. Because even just now speaking with you guys very briefly, you've opened my eyes to a different way of thinking, just like that. Like, okay, yeah, no, what you're saying makes perfect sense. So, we could sit here and blame that, oh, it's a misuse of spending, or it's this or it's that, but you're very right. We just need to be focusing on the utility of Bitcoin and how we can interact with each other for good, for the sale and purchase of goods and services. And I'm going to assume here, basically make the platforms that we have right now even better so that it incentivizes more users to come in. Is that what I'm hearing?
Well, yes, except we don't need to care about more users. What we need to do is care about making each other's lives better, and then people will be just naturally attracted to that. Obviously, they'll say, look at these people. They are really helping each other out. They're really efficient and everything. As far as the people that you were talking about at the beginning of the show, there was some kind of convention and there's some people with some money. I think it's best if you never, ever mention their names again. And that would really help you with what you're trying to do. If you just pretend that they don't exist, and because they literally don't exist in the economy in Bitcoin, because they don't invest in terms of Satoshis, they invest in terms of dollars, and they don't use the products. So think about like who is in the network. You've got Jamify, you have Twetch, you have Relay, you have Tonic Pow, these people who are putting things on chain. You have Canonic XYZ, that's a really great product. You have all these services of people who earn Bitcoin, want to keep it, they want to spend it, and we're helping each other. We could all help each other just use those products better, and it would be more attractive, and then more developers would want to come. But yeah, we can just talk about this on the show.
It's getting good. It's getting good. I'm enjoying the conversation. I almost don't want it to stop, but yeah, I
hope you'll use some of this in the show, because this is pretty good.
Yeah, I'm recording it right now, so I can definitely splice some things together here, because it's good. It's good stuff. And like I said, it's already opened my way of thinking. by chance, are you a big fan of Jack Lou Zeiler?
I would consider him a friend.
Okay, that's cool. I love Jack. So, there's controversy always around certain people in the community,
Here's
but
what's so
I
awesome about
love
Jack
I
Lou.
love.
Jack Lou is a product of the most liberal free society of the last century. He grew up in Hong Kong during the period where it was free, independent from Britain, but not part of China. And so he exists on this plane of this mental plane where he is completely liberated in his head, whereas everyone else comes from a place of greater control psychologically and financially. And so he sees from a more purely economic, less political way how to build the future because of his background and his heritage. And that makes him completely unique among the people in Bitcoin, for sure.
That's funny. I actually have a video with Jack Lou coming out this coming Friday. Jack Lou and Dean Little. We had a very interesting discussion, not only about Novo, but about the space and everything. And so this will be really good to kind of go after that video and be like, okay, let's get into a little bit even further discussion or deeper dive into it with some different people. And I'm really looking forward to that. I'm a big fan of Jack and Jack's work and what he's doing. And it's funny that when you're speaking, I hear kind of some of his thoughts and ideas come out in the sense that you guys seem to be very aligned in the way that you think, because during that last interview that I did, that, like I said, I'll be posting Friday, he mentioned something very similarly, like, hey, we just need to work with each other and build each other up, and to make the platforms that are already existing and are already awesome even that much more awesome, so that we can really help each other and to work towards the future. And I was like, that sounds really kind of backwards in a way, because if you're a businessman and you're trying to, you want your product to be the best product, right? And he was all like, no, and when we succeed, we all succeed. It's not it's a rising ship, rising waters thing. And, he got into it, and I was like, that's definitely a different way of thinking that I would not have thought of, because if I were some CEO of some company, I'd be like, no, we need to be the best. Screw everybody else's company. We need to be the number one. And that's probably why I'm not a CEO.
Thank you.
Yeah, but also in economics, we all benefit from specialization. So whoever is the best at one thing, or even a country in terms of trade, you do what you have the competitive advantage in, and let whoever's better at the other thing do that, and then you can trade, and you both benefit, get more with less energy. So definitely the way things should go. I'm really happy to hear that Jack espoused that type of thinking in your recent interview.
He did, yeah. Love Jack.
It's also important to understand the economics behind what he's saying, and the reason why it's different in Bitcoin than it would be in the world where you grew up. So in the world of CEOs, really in corporations and where we came from, it actually was more beneficial to create a corporation and try to raise the value of that rather than doing nothing, or rather than just saving money, because the value of the money in the old system is constantly going down. And in Bitcoin, because there's only 21 million, really there's like 18 million coins.
Right.
As people produce more, the value of everyone's money goes up. So all you have to do is hold Bitcoin and then help each other succeed. And you don't even need to have a business. It's because the business that we're all invested in is Bitcoin. Bitcoin is the world's greatest DAO. It's the greatest autonomous organization. So we're all shareholders of Bitcoin if we own Bitcoin. And so if you own Bitcoin and you save it, then you help other people improve their own Bitcoin businesses. That's going to increase the value of your Bitcoins as well. Yeah.
That definitely makes a lot of sense, Zeiler. But one might argue isn't part of the reason why we haven't seen or gained more adoption in Bitcoin thus far because we have treated it so much as a business, and looked at Bitcoin as like a business itself, as a organization itself, and the way that we sort of top companies in Bitcoin kind of treat things.
Well, what it is, it's an economy, but it's an economy. It's an entire economic system that you can buy into, and the more economic activity that's within the system, the more powerful your money becomes. It's like if you have one Bitcoin, but the number of services available doubles, well, now your Bitcoin's worth twice as much because there's twice as many things you can buy with it. Okay, so like all we want to do is create things that people are buying with it, that increases the value of the coin. It's just imagine if the value had no price in terms of dollars. Okay, imagine there were no dollars and all we had was Satoshis. How do you value the coin? Well, you value it by what can you get with it? What other people are in the economy and are offering services in exchange for these Satoshis. That's what the value of the money is. So, and by saving it, you benefit every time someone offers a new service, because now you have more options. The value of your money has gone up.
I see what you're saying. So realistically, our job, everybody's job that's in Bitcoin right now, isn't to figure out how to solve the problem of transferring Satoshis and Bitcoins out of Bitcoin and into fiat currency. It's not the problem of no, you're shaking your head. No.
Yeah, I'm agreeing with you. No, absolutely not. I agree. Yeah,
go ahead.
That's making the Bitcoins go away. I don't want that.
So we don't need fiat off ramps or even fiat on ramps. What you're saying is just provide the services and the products, and that will inherently increase the value of Bitcoin, which will inherently bring more people into the community because there will be things to purchase and sell and buy or whatever with Bitcoin. So what's the value of being able to purchase more things with your Bitcoin? And that brings the value up of Bitcoin. I'm sorry, I'm losing my train of thought here. Like it's there, it's rattling around, but I'm also computing it as I'm trying to say, right? So.
Well, you're totally right. And imagine, now take this next step. Imagine that there were no more people to bring in to Bitcoin. Okay. How would we need to behave then? We would need to be really trying to find out how to solve each other's problems, because we can't rely on some kind of like external injection of energy because there are no other people outside. So imagine there is no fiat. There are no people with fiat, and there's only like 1,000, or how many people are on Twitch? Imagine that's it. That's all the people in the whole world. The best way that we can increase the value of Bitcoin is to treat that as that's the economy, and mobilize everyone to help each other more. And we can help each other become better entrepreneurs, help each person on Twitch develop what is uniquely special. Like Derrick said, everyone has a specialty, and it's best when we all specialize. And we can use the Bitcoin technology to help everyone who understands Bitcoin become a better entrepreneur. And that solves the lack of developers problem, because we make all of us better at what we do. And we can double 10x the amount of productivity. That's how you have to look at it, because if you want to, if you want to attract people from the outside, I don't understand, because I think those people are pretty lame. Like, but if you want to do that, what you have to do is pretend they don't exist and only serve the people who get it. And then people will look like, wow, how are these people able to transact around the world so fast and come up with these new ideas and new ways to help each other so efficiently? And they're using all these complex computer programs and scripts and things to get rid of attorneys, and now they don't need a banker, and now they don't need an accountant because they've like used Bitcoin programs to make each other's lives better. Oh, like now we don't have to do we don't have to go get a notary because we invented like some on-chain notary. Like, oh, now they don't have to pay royalties to this because they're using, I don't know. It's all about us helping each other use the technology. Other people who get it, who want to get it, will come. But it's better also to like, I'm not going to go and try to convince your friend like who doesn't understand Bitcoin to tell them about it. In fact, I don't even want them to know about it. Like, that's putting me at the level of like, oh, please, we want to help you use our coin which you're just going to dump right in the trash as soon as you get it. No, like I want to be that there's something elusive and attractive about the people in Bitcoin. And no, we don't care if you join, you don't get it, no problem, because we're awesome and we're helping each other be better people and have better lives.
If you don't get it, I don't have the time to explain it to you, I think is one of the famous quotes there.
Yeah, it's a lot like anything. I mean, this works in small economies, micro economies, but it works in everyday life, in parties. You don't want to just go out and tell everyone like, oh, we come to this, everyone like come to this thing. It's going to be great soon. Some people are building stuff. Just stay in the party, have fun, and people see other people having fun and they want to come. Like that's just naturally how things work. Just focus on the core. Focus on what you actually want to happen in the center, which is having fun, or a Bitcoin economy, or whatever it is you're trying to accomplish.
Right. Well, I don't want to keep harping on what Jack Lew said in my previous video, but he also mentioned that, here in the Bitcoin ecosystem, we have a very limited number of resources. And so what we find ourselves in right now, the predicament we find ourselves in is that if we can imagine that we're all on an island that's kind of sinking, and the island only has enough resources to sustain 10,000 people, but we have 100,000 people living on this island. What can we do to help save the island from sinking with the limited number of resources that we have? And it seems like that's kind of where you guys are coming from.
What we need to do. Okay, so we have a limited number of resources available to us currently, and but one problem is we have an opposite problem, in that there's seemingly an unlimited number of ideas going around. Okay, we have a limited number of resources relative to the number of ideas that are floating around. And so imagine there's 1,000 ideas, and we're trying to apply all of our resources across these 1,000 different ideas. Well, it would be much better if, as a network and as a group of people and individuals, we can understand which ideas are better. Okay, so if we were focusing all of our resources on only the 5 best ideas, or the 2 best ideas, or maybe the top 10 instead of the top 1,000, maybe even the top 100 instead of the top 1,000, then we can be 10, 100, 200 times more productive for each other. So that's actually the fundamental issue that's going on here, is that bad ideas are too cheap to propagate. Bad ideas are still infecting our network, and it's hard to find out what are the good ideas. And that's where our system that we're working on comes in. We're developing a way for people to promote good ideas that are profitable. and help those good, profitable ideas that are going to benefit the network defeat energetically bad ideas that are unprofitable and that are self-serving. And so that's ultimately the goal. It's not that we don't have enough resources, is that we're not applying those resources to the right concepts, the things that are really going to make an impact. And that this applies to the larger society also outside of Bitcoin, but I believe that's what the true problem is. And that's why we are focused, and our team are focused on our proof of work based advertising and information ranking platform. The problem this solves is allowing people with good ideas to promote those good ideas and provably spend energy promoting those ideas, and force people with bad ideas to waste energy as well. So what we want to do is give more energy to good ideas and less energy to bad ideas. And so that's what this platform, this is very abstract, but the proof of work platform that we are building is aimed at solving that problem of draining resources from bad ideas.
Okay, so you're building out a platform that is going to help promote the top ideas in the space while getting kind of helping to sift through which are the good ideas that are going to succeed and help the ecosystem, and thus help Bitcoin, and kind of root out all of the bad ideas that are just a drain on resources and energy. So like potentially my idea about the thing that I spoke to you guys about at the beginning seems like a good idea if we had way more, resources to go around. But since we don't have the resources, perhaps it's not a good idea to try to push that out there.
Well, I think we could see on the market where it ranks, where people think how much value they're willing to spend on an idea like that. Where do they think there's going to be a return for their Bitcoins if they burn energy promoting that idea? Or are there other ideas that people are proposing where if they burn their Bitcoin energy promoting those ideas, they'll get a better return on their Bitcoins, increase the value of the Bitcoins by increasing the economy? Or, do they want to promote having a company that doesn't understand Bitcoin accept it on their website or something? And there's maybe there are lots of competing ideas. Let's see where that one ranks. Put it to
Lost you at the very end there, but yeah, no, it sounds great, guys. I'm interested to seeing what you guys come up with. And now that you've put it into those terms, I'm understanding your guys' perspective a whole lot better. And it's interesting to hear different perspectives, because too often, being that Bitcoin is a smaller ecosystem, I feel like sometimes we're in a bit of an echo chamber where we're all just talking amongst each other, and not necessarily everybody has like good ideas, including myself. I'm always willing to learn and be open to the thought and the ideas of new things. But we need those different perspectives in order to continuously grow. And so hearing from you guys having this different perspective is really refreshing.
I wouldn't call your idea a bad idea. I think it's a great idea. It's just that there's a market for ideas, and each idea has a real value. And I want to help illuminate what the value of these ideas really are in the market.
Absolutely. Yeah. I'm not sure what to say next now.
Yeah, well, let's talk more about really how this works.
Yeah, like what kind of tools would you guys be building, and what kind of tools does specifically does the ecosystem need right now to help in general?
Well, like I said, what we need is to help surface useful information, and okay. So for instance, when people, why are we doing this with Bitcoin?
That'd be a good question.
There's a big problem. There's a big problem that we have in the world where information in the market is controlled by a very small number of players. who have a near monopoly on the information in advertising.
Okay.
Which is, advertising can be seen as the promotion of ideas for profit. And essentially, very small number, Google, Facebook, YouTube, these places control a huge amounts of advertising energy. And the system is extremely subject to manipulation and control, and it's very opaque.
And they sell your data?
They own your data.
Yeah.
and they sell it, and you pay them to promote your content over others, but it's a black box. And there's no proof that you spent more than someone else. There's no evidence about which ideas are trying to be promoted but aren't the top ones. You know, like how much are people willing to spend? There's huge problems with censorship. And what we're looking at Bitcoin, one of the most profound things about the Bitcoin blockchain is how much information is being sucked into it. All kinds of information that people are putting into the blockchain, and it's only just beginning. And
but there and then again, how do we know which information should be stored on the blockchain, and you know, how much of the information is just 1,000 JPEGs of cat memes, or you know, that type of thing?
It doesn't matter because it's a business transaction between the person paying to store the data and the person storing the data. So we don't have to care at all what there's no answer. The answer is whatever you want to pay for, because first of all, you're not mining Bitcoin, so like what say do you have in it? It's like
true.
None. You know, it's not your hard disks that are filling up with terabytes and terabytes of data. Like, forget about that. You know, what do you want to store in there? And so there's all this information in there. In fact, it's huge. Like I said, it's terabytes and terabytes of data. How do we surface information? How do we make some information stand out versus other information in an objective way that the whole world can look at and say, like, oh, that information really stands out? You know, like, how can we see a signal in all this noise? Okay, and this is like, we have this huge problem in the old media and in the Web 1. Like, we don't even know where the signal is. There's so much fake information. There's so much censorship. Like, how do we find that signal? So in the modern world, in the Bitcoin world, we use math to be certain of things. And we use evidence in the blockchain that an event occurred, some information was created, a transaction happened, a contract was fulfilled. All these things are on the blockchain. You can see them. They're transparent and public. Well, how do we add a way to boost the signal of some of these information? How do we promote information in the blockchain in a mathematically precise way that no company can manipulate, that no one can erase how much you promoted, how much advertising energy you spent,
and is totally transparent?
Right. So what you're saying is, like, in Web 1, the way that we get those signals right now is basically who can pay to boost their own signal and say, hey, my information is most important. And it's kind of like a money game, like who has the most money to push their own thoughts and ideas. And so the people with the largest followings or the largest amount of money are able to boost those signals. But in Bitcoin, we don't have this problem. We need to figure out a solution as to how we boost these signals to point towards valid or important information or good ideas. And so is that what you guys are currently trying to solve?
Well, the problem isn't about who has more money. Okay. The problem is that it's controlled by corporations that are completely non-transparent. We don't know who was advertising what information in the past or present, how much energy they spent on it, anything like that. It's a very closed system. And also, the people of the world can't collaborate on promoting things together in this old system. This is the most important part. Okay. In Facebook, you can buy an ad for something that you want to promote, maybe they block people all the time. But if someone likes that ad and they like that idea, they can't also just boost that ad up more. They can't be like, I want to add more money to that. And this is all controlled by central authorities that are manipulating people. They're manipulating huge populations with information, and they're hiding information. And they're hiding a huge amount of information, which can't be done on the blockchain. So what we want is a way for all of the people in the world to get together and voice in aggregate what they believe about what information is good and is going to help the economy, or all the people in the network, which is in the Bitcoin economy. We want all to get together and promote the ideas that we each individually think are best. And some of these ideas, lots of people are going to want to promote because it's going to make their lives better. And so we want people to be able to boost any kind of information in the blockchain and boost the signal of it so that they can get it in front of people's faces. And it's something that Bitcoiners can trust more. If people are giving this honest signal of spending energy, then I feel much more comfortable in seeing an ad that was based on something people have spent proof of work on, because I can trust that the Bitcoin users believe that this is important and that no one has used any kind of tricks like social engineering, cult of personality, speaking from some authority or referencing an institution in order to gain power, or no one can use blackmail, manipulation, no one can use sexual favors and any kind of inappropriate behavior to get ahead, because proof of work only cares about the amount of energy that you've spent in putting into the Bitcoin mining machine. And so it's a drastically better way of promoting information. And that's the platform that we are building.
That's awesome. Yeah. While you were speaking there, I was thinking a little bit of Daniel Krauwitz and his how he talks about spending energy and whatnot, and that was coming through a little bit on your end from based off the conversation we were just having. But I like that. And then not only just Daniel Krauwitz, I also heard a bit of Jerry Chan in there, who I absolutely adore, who says, Bitcoin inherently makes people and businesses and everybody and Bitcoin makes things inherently honest. And so I really like those ideas and those thoughts. And I'm curious as to the platform in particular that you guys are building out. Do you think you could elaborate a little bit more on it, or are you guys waiting?
Definitely, yes. You can go to pow.co. That's a demonstration. We've built some developer tools, and we are working with some of the BSV developers now who have integrated this platform into their apps, and you'll see that coming out soon. And the idea, well, what it is it's simple APIs for developers to let their users boost their content. And it can be any kind of content. So we have some people who have worked on boosting things like twetches, boosting. We have some people working on boosting audio and promoting your audio tracks that are for sale.
And also NFTs. I mean, specifically, like artistic NFTs have a huge honesty problem in other coins, because people will back and forth pay themselves a bunch of times and say, oh, my NFT is worth $1 million bajillion dollars. But if you're adding proof of work to an NFT, that has been provably burned. That energy is actually being consumed. So someone is saying, I actually believe that this is a valuable NFT.
That's awesome, guys.
It's much better to rank things by.
Right, and you've probably seen people promoting NFT projects where they say, this NFT will get you benefits in the future. You're going to get this benefit or this membership or this discount here and this or that. And those are basically promises. It would be a lot easier to trust those promises if the developers actually had to spend some energy promoting their concept, so that they need to recuperate it. They need to actually create something of value. or else they've just wasted their money promoting something. So it's a developer platform. It's a simple API for developers to add the ability for their users to boost their content. And they can boost absolutely anything that's in the blockchain, absolutely anything. And then you can, and it's a very simple API. On the back end, it's all on Bitcoin. So it's a math-based advertising platform, all on Bitcoin. Even all the proof of the work is there. It's a marketplace. It's a way for people to buy proof of work. Most people don't run Bitcoin mining machines. It's like really complex and everything. So built in is a way for you to boost by buying work from the Bitcoin miners. And then they will do the work for you, and they will boost your content, whatever it is you want. And so that's what we're running on the back end. We're mining Bitcoin, and then we're mining this boost. And whenever you want to boost something, you pay a little bit, and then the miners, either our mining business or a competing miner, can perform that work for you, get your payment. You could be a tiny bit. You could buy a bunch of works. Like, I want to spend $1,000 on promoting this right to the top of the biggest chart in the world, or maybe I want to spend 5 cents and promote this right to the top of #cats. You know, like, and so, yeah.
So, yeah, it sounds like you guys are really creating the solutions that we need here, and I'm really interested to see what you guys do and where you guys take this company and everything. But I'm also curious because you mentioned that you were mining yourselves, so you guys have your own mining pool going on, like Gorilla Pool, or what's going on with that? Is this just a small mining operation to help boost the needs of your platform, or is this something that you guys plan on building out to potentially compete later on with the other mining pools in the ecosystem?
Well, miners are required for contributing proof of work to content in the first place. So we have the miners primarily so that we can boost proof of work, but also anyone could compete. Anyone with a miner could also add proof of work to content. We just make it easy for users to add proof of work to that content, whether it be from our miners or from someone else.
Yeah, and what we want to do is help everyone in Bitcoin out. You know, we are some of those people who are part of the Bitcoin economy. So as the whole economy grows, and as we get better information, our lives are going to be better, and we're going to have a better world. So what we want, well, one thing that we say to miners, a reason why they want to mine Boost is because it brings them additional revenue on top of the Bitcoin blocks. So miners can choose to mine Bitcoin blocks, or they can choose to mine the proof of work platform to promote, to boost people's content or do advertising. And sometimes it's going to be more profitable for them to boost some advertising. Sometimes it's going to be more profitable to mine a Bitcoin block, which is basically like saying boosting a Bitcoin block header. So they can choose to get additional revenue, or they can choose to just mine Boost if that's more profitable all the time, or maybe they want to specialize. But it's an open protocol. So ideally, in fact, it's not ideally, but there will not be any kind of central party that's running the Boost system. It's really a competitive network. And rather than compete, personally, I want Boost to succeed, because my interest is more in things like music and art and sports and friends and family. You know, I don't want to be a miner per se,
Right.
but I want all these aspects of my life to be improved, and I want deeper connections with the people in Bitcoin who I think are the most intelligent and the most interesting. So yeah, we're really looking to help people improve their apps and solve this problem, because lots of people have been talking to us about this problem they have in their apps. Like in Relay, there's a million tokens, there's a million NFTs. How do you promote your token? There's like no way to do it. How do you sort, how do you filter through things? And in fact, pretty much all of the Bitcoin native apps we talk to have this problem, because there are these on-chain protocols. Anyone can submit content. It can't be like erased or censored or anything like that. So how do they filter it out? So we have this platform. It's really, really cool and interesting. And it uses Bitcoin native scripts to create these super awesome types of transactions. It's really cool, amazing marketplace for proof of work on the Bitcoin chain using the Bitcoin scripts. It's all on chain. It's really, really something extraordinary. And it opens up a way for people to collaborate. Like you were mentioning earlier, there's a big problem with collaboration.
Yeah.
And I would say the reason for that is because not everyone hasn't just chosen Relay yet, but I think that's where we'll go. So that problem will go away. But what we want to do is help the apps collaborate. And so this
interoperability.
This Boost protocol is it's not owned by anyone. It has nothing to do with any kind of corporate entity. It has no preference about who succeeds or not. All it wants is to gain more hash power, because that will show that people are benefiting by promoting information in a more efficient manner. So really, like, okay, how I was talking earlier about what we need to do is focus our existing resources on a smaller number of more high value things. Well, we should all focus on the one most valuable thing, which is the proof of work platform, and everyone paying attention to the proof of work signals, so we can stop wasting energy and wasting time. So we need to completely reorient the way that we're interacting with information and each other. And we got to internalize to look at the blockchain and look at the proof of work and take that as the signal. So that's all we care about. I mean, it's not all I care about, but that's the number one most beneficial thing to create, in my opinion, right now. And we need to get that into all the systems, and we all need to pay attention to the signal, because it can't be manipulated. And then once we're all paying attention to that signal, that will inform what things to do next. So we already are spread so thin. And what we need to do is pay attention to the signal, and then it will tell us how to collaborate much better, I believe. So you can go to pow.co. That's where there's a simple ranking system that uses proof of work. And from there, you will be able to link to the developer resources and create some, buy some proof of work if you want, try to boost some of your memes, and stay tuned.
Oh man, I'm looking forward to that. Derrick, did you have anything you wanted to add there?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to boosting this exact podcast.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, me too. Maybe I can be one of the first people to, like, outside of the main circle here, to get in there and be like, yeah, let me try this out.
Okay, then what you want to do is put this on Twitch.
Okay.
And then your Twitch, the Twitch is, if you've noticed, it has a unique transaction ID.
Mm.
Each Twitch is a transaction on the blockchain.
Okay.
So once you have that Twitch, you can boost that Twitch. So if you like create a Twitch that has a link to like the video, and then maybe like an image of the conversation, create that. Then you have some content on chain. Then you can boost it. So then you can go to pow.co, you can put in that transaction, and then you can boost it. And I think it would be fun if we can see how high can we get this talk to the top, because there's some things there that are just at the top. No one's been able to displace them because it's the most popular thing. But I think this conversation and some of your other conversations are definitely are so useful for people that they should be boosted to the top.
I appreciate that. I'll give myself a
Well, some of them are just awful, you know. Those should just I'll tell those should boost right to the bottom. No, I actually haven't seen any awful conversations, but I know some of my talks are awful, so I assume everyone has bad days.
Yeah. Hey, I've got some bad days, but I generally like getting to speak with everybody. It's one of the perks of getting to do this, is not only do I feel like I'm getting a good education in Bitcoin with all the different conversations that I've had with everybody in the space, but I also feel like I in some way contributing to helping promote that knowledge. So hey, I'm all about it. That's why I'm here, right? I'm not a developer. So this is one of the ways that I feel like I can help contribute to the ecosystem. So yeah, I'm excited. I definitely love to let's get this on Twitch and let's boost it up for sure.
All right. Yeah, let's boost it, and then let's have a follow up and see once we get to the top of Twitch or top of the boost rankings.
I love it. Well, I feel like we've kind of covered the interview today, so to speak. I don't know how you guys feel, or if there was something really, really pressing that you guys wanted to cover tomorrow, or if you guys felt like the majority of this conversation kind of covered everything that you guys wanted to specifically touch upon.
Yeah, that was the whole point. Tomorrow would have been around if we flopped today.
Oh, okay. I got you. I was wondering, I was like, why are they willing to wait if we're just doing a sound check and everything? And then I got in here and it was like, let's just run with it, man. It sounds good. Sounds great.
Weren't we all way more relaxed this way?
I think so too, because I was all like anticipating tomorrow being the actual day. And so I wasn't like stressing out like I normally do about like, oh man, I need to make sure I have some questions or some topics. It was just natural flow conversation in our element kind of thing.
That's really great. That's an old radio trick a lot of interviewers use too, is they'll say, all right, well, get a couple of questions through and then say, all right, interview's over, you can leave anytime. And then they'll ask more questions. Guest is like 100 times more comfortable and all the good content.
I'm going to steal that. Oh my gosh, it's brilliant. Yeah. That's super brilliant, man. It put me at ease. You guys did the trick on me. That's great. No, I like it a lot.
This was fun.
No,
this was really fun.
Wait, we can't leave yet. My favorite Bitcoin app these days, which I keep buying, I keep donating to the features, is Jamify.xyz. And because I'm a musician, I love music, and curious, what kind of music do you like?
Me? Gosh. I'm kind of like the 90s girl, kind of like, I'm not going to say Nickelback, but like Soundgarden and maybe even a little bit further, like Alice in Chains and that kind of thing. Like I'm kind of a little bit more old school with my preferences.
90s had a lot of great music.
They did.
Nine Inch Nails.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Oh gosh. Who are some System of a Down and all of that. Like I even like Korn, like all that 90s music. That's right up my jam.
High energy.
Yeah, I need it, man. I'm a mother of 3, so yeah, I'm constantly like I need that energy boost, that little bit of serotonin level boost for the day.
Do they like Korn also?
Yeah, my kids. My kids are the kids you see like on random like YouTube videos, like in the background in the back seat of the car, man. They're all about it. They are all about it. Sorry, I totally messed my hair, but that's all right. But yeah, my kids are great. They love all that stuff. And my husband, he's quite different in his taste. Like, don't get me wrong, he likes the music that I listen to, but he's all about like 90s rave music and like 8-bit. He's a gamer from way back, and he loves listening to all the 8-bit music from all the original like Mario games and stuff and all the remixes of it. And so like they like that too, so they're gonna have a very interesting memories of music growing up for sure.
That's awesome. We'll have to get some of that stuff on Jamify.
Yeah, absolutely, for sure. Yeah, so I didn't mean to go off on like a tangent or whatever, but yeah.
No, I think it's cool. I love talking music. It's a universal language.
It really is. So what kind of music do you listen to, Derrick, now that you've got my my preferences?
I like a lot of house music, things
Okay.
that, yeah, I like a wide range. I was in the church choir when I was a young person, so I like everything from, happy gospel music to angry, rageful music to dancey and everything else in
Happy
between.
hardcore? You like happy hardcore?
Yeah, I used to go to some happy hardcore raves. Yeah, wearing all pink shirts and candy and all kinds of stuff like that. Yeah.
Oh man, I still have some candy like saved upstairs in one of my drawers. I used to go to raves all the time just to be a performer. I used to spin glow sticks, and then I transformed into a fire spinner. And so that was my thing at raves, like going and giving everybody else like the performances. Like that was what I really dug. And so it's interesting to see that I went from that to this. I'm still a performer in my own sense, right?
I can see some of the smoke still behind you. Maybe in your next performance or next podcast, you'll bring some fire on.
Oh man, yeah, get some video footage of me spinning fire. I have to buy some new ones. I've still got my LED poi, but I'll have to get some new monkey fists. That's what they're called. But anyway, guys.
Well, yeah, it was a pleasure. Thanks for sharing your music. That's an intimate thing, and I'm thinking, well, I want to know you better because you're one of like the 1,000 people on Twitch. So I need to figure out, what do you need? How can I help you? How can I connect other entrepreneurs in Bitcoin to help you? And that will take care of the adoption problem.
Oh, that makes sense. Well, I guess since we're already here, Zeiler, what type of music do you listen to?
Well, recently I have focused a lot more on filtering the lyrics that I'm listening to. I'm a DJ, and I love playing music for people. My favorite thing in the world is to make people dance. And I mix and I publish music online. And I have really been focusing on making sure all of the lyrics are constructive, happy, loving, peaceful, empowering. I like music that makes me feel powerful, and music that makes me feel connected with other people. Like
Absolutely.
I'm extroverted, so I like music that like if you play it, people will be more social. There's other kinds of music where it's like all for your head.
Yeah.
And it's really introverted, and I like that too. But I've been really focused on happy vibes for people recently, and then
I like that. Yeah, it's funny. I'll listen to very like super pumped up music, but like aside from like performing, where I know that I'm performing a specific action and it's to everybody's benefit, that's really cool, and I know that I'm good at it, like spinning poi. I'm cool with doing that. But as far as like getting out on the dance floor and just dancing or like interacting with people like randomly off the cuff, like I'm one of I'm more tending to be a wallflower type deal. So yeah, that's cool. That's cool. You
That's
probably
cool
get
too.
me off the wall.
Oh, last question before we
Sure.
go. Have you ever thought about going to space?
I mean,
Like outer space. You think about like you want to go to space?
yeah. Part of me from my days say, yeah, I used to think about going to space all the time. But, me nowadays, I'm very grounded, being that I am a mother now and everything else. But like that other side of me from the way back when says, absolutely, open mind, thinking about going to space, terraforming other planets. Let's do it, if that makes sense.
Okay, right on. That's a yes. Great. I'm collecting a big list of everyone who loves music and wants to go to space.
Absolutely. That would be awesome. There's gosh, I don't think I can get the song right now. Pegboards. There is one band in particular that I was listening to there for a hot minute, and I want to say they're called like the Pegboards or something, and they're like a happy hardcore band, but unfortunately I can't get into my playlist now because Spotify has been wrecking my account lately, and I'm not sure why, but I haven't been able to get into my account to listen to it. But there was this one song called, it was all about space, and it takes you through a whole journey, like throughout this song. And I freaking love it. So yeah, something like that. That'd be super cool.
I made a note of it. I'll find it. I'll find that song.
Gosh, I just hope it is from the Pegboards. Because like that was my recent thing recently was like finding new. Yeah, it's still not working. I got to figure that out.
Well, maybe that, if once I find it, it can be our intro or outro music.
Well, that would be awesome. That would be awesome. All right, guys. Well, I'm gonna get out of here. I gotta get some other things done today, but I've had a pleasure talking with you guys and having this conversation with you. And I can't thank you enough for coming on the show and sharing your knowledge and your insight with us and the new platform. That's super cool. So I'm looking forward to doing the thing with the boost and getting it on Twitch and making that happen.
Yes, thank you, and the greatest thanks you can give is boosting this show right to the top of the rankings.
Absolutely,
and we'll help you do that.
Let's get it done.
Thank you, Brittany. It's been a real honor having a conversation with you.
Thank you so much, Derrick. All right, guys. Well, I guess we'll go ahead and try to end it off the correct way. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Make sure to hit the like and subscribe button, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Thank you for watching. Please make sure to like the video, subscribe to our channel, and leave a comment below. Share this video with a friend, and also follow us on Twitter at BrittanyBits.